Hey guys, how you doing? This is Dave Vaughan coming to you from my home here in Wales. Absolutely hammered, drunk. Another day of victory today in the Vaughan household. Day of bliss, intoxication, party, celebration. We've seen the craziest supernatural stuff today. I don't even want to go into it. All I know is every day is getting crazier and crazier and crazier. We're having fun days, enjoying our union together with the Lord. I thought this would be a good opportunity whilst I'm in this condition to just invite you guys to come to our next Sloshfest, which is going to be held in London, England, the 1st to the 3rd of November. Could be in the Romford area. It's going to be in the Greater London area somewhere, but you're not going to want to miss it. This thing is going to be off the hook. It's going to go off like a bag of prawns in the sun. In our gatherings at the moment in the UK, we're seeing such a bringing together of family, such a sense of love and union. We're sharing such a similar revelation of this great gospel. There's so much glory that we're beginning to sense between us, so much love, such an atmosphere of community and of family. And we're so excited about what we're seeing the Lord manifest. And I just want to say this event is going to be crazy. All the usual suspects are going to be there. Joanne Gravel, who's on fire literally at the moment, is going to be there. Godfrey Birtle, the Holy Ghost minstrel, is going to be leading us in worship. John Winston Crowder III has promised that he's going to be there. We've got guests saying they're coming from all over the world. The Electric Man is going to be there. There are going to be people showing up as nuns and monks, and Mr. Cheerio will probably show up. I mean, this thing is going to be off the hook. If you're a shamed politician, if you're a burnt out pastor, if you're a failed prophet, if you're a Holy Ghost hedonist, if you're a new age futuristic inventor that just wants to see something different, then I would encourage you to register for this event at www.thenewecstatics.co.uk. You go on there, all the details are there in our itinerary box. You're going to need to register today. This is our 5th Sloshfest, number 5. There's going to be a lot of whack and a lot of grace on it. I was actually looking in my drawers the other day. I looked into my drawers and I found the flyer from the first ever Sloshfest we did, Sloshfest '07, A New Hope. Across the top there it says, warning, if you have a religious spirit, it may manifest at this event. This event changed everything for us. We were getting jacked up in our home. We were getting hammered drunk in our home. We were enjoying the bliss of heaven in our home. Yet we were going along to conferences. We were going along to seminars. And we were just done with the whole thing. Usually we would get thrown out or asked to leave very courteously. And we realized that there was no room for the party. There was no room for the celebration. The dance floor couldn't hold the joy. And we just had enough of it. And we thought, my goodness me, wouldn't it be great if there was an event where people could come together and enjoy the party and they wouldn't feel those suffocating restrictions that often the church puts on there. So we just threw this Holy Ghost Slosh Fest. We didn't know how many people were going to show up. The event went through the roof. 300 people gathered. The first session, we gave a Holy Ghost enema altar call. We said, we know there are people out there that are full of religion. We're full of religion too. How about we believe that the Holy Ghost is going to give us an enema right now? Everyone came forward and responded. The glory of God just wiped us completely out, cleansed us. It was amazing. By the last session, there was such a realm of the glory. I mean, people were being transformed. People were being liberated. People were just getting totally set free. And just the joy that was unspeakable that began to manifest was just amazing. The second one of these Slosh Fests we did in Llanelli in Wales, we had 500 to 600 people show up. I remember on the second evening, the glory was so rich. Everyone gathered down the front. There was crowd surfing, all this wild stuff going on. But there was such a sense of almost like a corporate trance that hit us. And no one preached that night because the presence of God was just so strong. I remember Ben Dunn was there and he just led us in worship. The glory just broke out, went through the roof. Everyone just experienced something that for most people they'd never experienced or never even thought was imaginable. The third Slosh Fest we did was in Sheffield in England, and it was called Operation Immobilization. At that time, the Lord was showing us the signs of mobilization all around us. People were dry, they were worn out, they were tired, they'd had enough. And the Lord spoke to me and said, bring about an operation immobilization. It's time for the church to get out of the way. You know, success is seen in most meetings where people get up out of wheelchairs, you know, where they leave their disability behind and get up out of the wheelchair. What we started seeing around that time was people started getting in the wheelchair. The glory of God was coming in on people so strong that God was immobilizing them for weeks and months at the time, and people were needing help to get around in their little wheelchairs. And at that event, people spontaneously brought wheelchairs to the event. The glory of God broke out so strong. I remember there again on the second evening as the presence of God broke out, I remember it was just such a rich sense of glory. People were being liberated and transformed. It was absolutely amazing. Then the fourth Sloshfest that we held was in Barry in Wales. And that was the Sloshfest where people started coming dressed as monks and nuns and crazy manifestations of party and celebration. I remember the Sun newspaper, which is the biggest daily newspaper here in the UK, showed up. And they wrote the most amazing 2-page article. You couldn't pay for that type of advertising. It was absolutely erratic. It was crazy. And I remember they wrote this double-page article, Holy Ravers Who Get High on God. And the last part of the article said, a man walks past the steamy windows of Sloshfest and he looks through the glass and he says, man, that looks like one hell of a party to me. And it was one hell of a party. The whole thing blew up. And off the back of that, that's when Big Brother got in touch and everything changed for us. But we're not ashamed of this party. We're not ashamed of this gospel. We realize it is the power of God. We realize that Christianity doesn't involve a party. It is the party. And this Sloshfest is going to go off the hook. It is going to be off the chain. It's going to be wild. You guys are not going to want to miss this party. It is going to be one big, long, 3-day celebration where we're going to come together and just experience the glory of God like never before. This is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to bring your friends, your family, just to hang out and just to be encouraged by what the Lord is doing. At the Glory Fest that we held in 2011, we had a pornographic magazine show up and write a 4-page article right in the middle of the pornographic magazine. We had a producer from the BBC come along who's putting a documentary together on the whack and on what people are beginning to experience. We had people there from 30 different nations, from as far away as Brazil, Israel. We had 20 people show up from America as the family of God came together. And I remember in one of the sessions as John Crowder was ministering, I remember there was just, when Paul says, you know, he said, wasn't Christ clearly portrayed as crucified among you? And I remember in that Glory Fest, it was a moment where Christ was clearly portrayed before us all as crucified. And hundreds of people instantly got the revelation of the gospel. And I remember people going away and saying they went back to their hotel room. Some of them went away and laughed for 3 days off the back of realizing for the first time the glory of the good news of this gospel. We had about 20 people show up from America. I mean, the whole thing just blew up. And it was an amazing party, an amazing joining together. These things are just awesome. There's a sense where, yeah, you know, this thing doesn't need to be facilitated. There's a sense of, yeah, this is a global awakening to reality. There's always this sense of our efforts are not necessary for this intoxication. The Holy Ghost knows what He's doing. But it is awesome to put on an event where people can come together and enjoy their union with God and with each other and begin to experience the presence of God as a family in that atmosphere of love, in that atmosphere of freedom and liberty. And I know that all of us are going to get touched in a really deep way at this event. I just want to encourage you guys, sign up today for Sloshfest London in England, Sloshfest Europe actually, in London, in England. This thing is going to be off the hook. I'm so excited about it. It was so amazing to go into my drawers. I sometimes go into my drawers and to find this flyer and to realize that 6 years down the road, you know, the party is wilder than it's ever been. I mean, the clarity on the revelation of the gospel is allowing us to walk in such a sense of identity and freedom. There is such a rich manifestation of glory that we're experiencing right now as we realize that we are as He is in this world. And more people are getting that revelation, and new thoughts and new truths are beginning to reveal to us the glory of His of the riches of His inheritance within the saints. We're an amazing time. We're an amazing hour to be alive, and we're an amazing time to gather together for this event. Join with us in November. 1st to the 3rd, go to our website, www.thenewecstatics.co.uk. You'll see the details there in our itinerary box for Sloshfest Europe in London, in England. I'll catch you guys there. Bye-bye.